Hello everyone, it is Marc Berman from TV Media Insights. It is Tuesday, November 13th, and I would like to welcome you back to our daily videocast. Let's begin with the announcement by ABC that Nashville has been picked up for the remainder of the season with an order for 9 additional episodes, bringing the tally to 22. This is ABC's first new series renewal, and it is now the 11th of the 21 new shows this fall that have been picked up for the full season. I imagine CBS will make a decision on its freshman comedy Partners this week. It aired last night. If the numbers go up, there's a possibility they'll air more episodes. I think if it stays flat or it loses more steam, I think it's going to be curtains. The main problem with Partners is it's losing too much of its lead in How I Met Your Mother versus last year when Two Broke Girls built considerably out of How I Met Your Mother. And speaking of Two Broke Girls, I watched it last night. Boy, oh boy, did they push the envelope. You know, my 10-year-old daughter Morgan watched with us, and there was an incident in the show where she didn't understand and she asked me to explain. I was not happy doing that, but it was very funny actually, but they truly pushed the envelope. On today's newsletter, I have the updated DVR rankers for the first 5 weeks of the TV season. We have 2 shows that are tied for number 1, benefiting the most from the DVR, and that is Modern Family on ABC and Revolution on NBC. They are each adding an additional 4.4 million viewers. Now remember, when a show has a smaller audience, the percentage of DVR usage tends to be greater, which is why the percentage for Revolution is so much higher than Modern Family. And CBS continues to hold the most number of shows in the top 10 and the top 20, benefiting from the DVR. Now, if you're a fan of Married to Jonas on E, and I'm not, I don't watch it, it has been picked up for a second season. You know, interestingly, the cable network has not said anything about Mrs. Eastwood and Company. Remember that show featuring Clint Eastwood's wife, Dina? So I don't imagine that is coming back. And I still find it very hard to believe, by the way, that Clint Eastwood allowed cameras to come into his house. He even participated a couple of times in that reality show. Who on earth is going to be next? Now, let's go to Entertainment Tonight from CBS Television Distribution. They have announced that Rob Marciano from CNN, he handled the weather and news. He will be joining E.T. in January as co-host opposite Nancy O'Dell. He has that very typical look for an E.T. co-host, young, dark hair, good looking. That's an E.T. co-host. I don't really watch all that much anymore. I find those news magazines a little too sugary for my tastes. Now, coming up on the air tonight, we have the season premiere of Little People, Big World, Big Farm. Or Wedding Farm, excuse me. That's going to be on TLC. This features the roll-offs, and it reminds me of a story that I believe I've told before, and let me tell it again. A few years ago, I was at the Winter Press Tour. I came out of a session that featured Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg. You can't get much bigger than those two. And sure enough, I see the roll-offs in the hallway, so I went over and spoke to them. When I told my 2 older children, they were so impressed that I met the roll-offs. They didn't care about Tom Hanks, they didn't care about Steven Spielberg, but I actually met the roll-offs. But listen, this has been a very successful franchise for TLC, and they are trying to keep it alive. And in the world of TV trivia, on this day in 2001 was the 200th episode of Cheers spinoff Frasier. Now, I would guess that Frasier is the most successful spinoff in the history of television. Kelsey Grammer is tied with James Arness from Gunsmoke for playing one character for the most number of years, Dr. Frasier Crane. He played it for 9 years on Cheers, 11 years on Frasier. That's 20 years in total. That is a very long time. And that is our daily videocast from TV Media Insights. I hope everybody has a great day, and I will be back with more news about my favorite medium, television, tomorrow. Have a great day.